So in the previous videos, we've just looked about creating tables. So let's now look at how we put the data into the tables and then what functionality we have available to manipulate that. So let's come up here and create a table. So I'm going to click on table and it's going to have 5 columns and 3 rows. There we go. Now let's start putting in data. So I'm going to put in a header row and I'm going to put in first name. Now to move to the next cell, all I need to do is press Tab. Pressing Tab on the keyboard, it automatically progresses it for me. So now I can type last name, Tab, age, Tab. Now if ever I want to go back, I can hold down the Shift and press Tab, and it will move me backwards. If I want to progress forwards, I just press Tab again. And so we're now going to type joined, Tab, state, Tab. When I press Tab this time, it actually takes me to the next row. And now I'm going to start putting in some information. Oh, that's the person's last name. So Smith, 35. Let's just put in some data here. There we go. John Jones, 25, 2012, and New South Wales. There we go. Now if I want another row, to get that all I need to do is press Tab again. And if I press Tab again, what actually happens is Word will create a new row completely for that next cell. So let's now put in Peter Alexander and 2012 New South Wales. So that's great. Now what I might want to do though is I might want to add another row. Now I could do it the same way, but let's look at other options available to us. If I come up here to the layout, you see I can got a whole load of options now. If I move the cursor to perhaps this row here and this cell, I can choose to insert rows above, below. I can insert columns to the left or to the right. Or I can choose to delete columns, rows, cells, or the entire table. I also have the ability to right-click here, and you can see that the right-click menu, as well as having the traditional bullets, numbering, and all the font and paragraph information here and here, I also have these additional entries here. And I can come onto the insert and insert columns to the left, columns to the right, rows above, rows below. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a row below. There we go. And now fill in a bit more data. It's up to you whether you use the right-click menu or whether you prefer to use the controls that are here in the layout. Now what actually happened is when Word created this table, you will see that all of the cells are exactly the same width. I can come up to here and I can drag the width of the cells. I can also move the mouse here and highlight and drag. Be aware that if you actually highlight the entire row and you drag, you're only going to drag that particular row and the cell associated with it. This isn't really a good practice in Word, even though it allows you to do it, it can mess up your formatting, so I'm just going to undo that. So if ever that occurs, just remember you've probably selected the entire row. We've got the option to auto-fit the contents. So what's happened is it's now reduced the width and the cells are automatically sized to the best fit. But I might want to auto-fit it to the window, or I might want to have a fixed column width. And I can change any of the cell sizes here just by clicking on here and perhaps increasing the height and increasing the width. You can see that one of these rows now is more than the others. I could perhaps now click on here and say distribute the rows and make everything even again. But in fact what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this header row a little bit bigger, so I'm just going to drag down. There we go. You'll notice that the text up here is at the very top of the cell, and this comes down to the alignment. The alignment's really easy because we have these little icons here that show you, depending on what you press, what the impact will be. I generally like the align center here. There we go. But of course I want to apply it to all of this row. So I'm now going to select it all and then choose the align center left. I might choose to perhaps sort this particular table. And so what I can do is I can select the table, come up here and press the sort button. Now I have this sort pop-up and I can choose how I want to sort, and I can click on here and choose the columns, but my actual table does have a header row. What it basically means is the first row is more like a title of each column. And now when I click on the header row, you can see that I can now choose to sort by first name, last name, age, join, state. So what I might want to do is sort them by the last name, and perhaps I want to have, and it's recognized that it's all text, and I could have it ascending. If I wanted to, I could then sort by another header row. But we'll just keep it like that and click OK. And now you'll see that I now have this table sorted by alphabetical order of their last name. So we've got Alexander, Jones, McAvoy, and Smith. We're going to talk about splitting cells and merging cells in a later video, and also the formula up here and convert to text. But I suppose the only thing to perhaps now highlight is the border at the moment is okay, but we could provide some great formatting to it, and we'll cover that in the next video.